Hey, so you might be seeing this video. If you watched the original video that this video is replacing, you might be wondering, why am I replacing it? Well, it's because that video was a little, confusing. There was a lot of not super correct information and a lot of like weird information in that video. So I'm redoing it. I explain in that video MBTI, very introductory fashion, like what are the cognitive functions, all of that kind of shit. So let's do it again. So what is MBTI? MBTI stands for Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And in the world of MBTI, it's basically a way to figure out how your mind kind of works, right? I like to think of MBTI as like blueprints to a house, right? Yes, you have the house and it may be like totally furnished, completely furnished, but the blueprints can give you insight into certain aspects of the house that you may not have known were there. For example, I don't know how you would miss it, but it's the only thing I can think of at the moment, is you have a basement in your house and you didn't know you had a basement, and the blueprints to this house can let you know, oh shit, you had a basement this whole time. That's basically MBTI. It's a way to kind of understand how your mind works a little bit better, and it gives you a little insight into how you function as a person, of which I am barely doing in this current moment. Is it 4:30 in the morning while I record this video? Yes. Am I fucking tired as hell and exhausted? Also, yes. Should I be recording this video? Probably not, but here we are. Anyway, in the world of MBTI, you have four primary functions. You have your perceiving functions and your judging functions. Your perceiving functions are going to be intuition and sensing, and this basically just means how you gather information. And then your judging functions are going to be thinking and feeling, so how you make sense of that information and how you make decisions and stuff. So those are your four primary functions. They're divided into those two categories. I don't know why I had to do this to show you what I'm talking about, but whatever. And so depending on where that function sits in your cognitive stack is going to determine what your personality type is. I'll use myself as an example. I am INFJ, so that basically means introverted, intuition, N is intuition, by the way, feeling, and then judging. So that means, and for me, it means that my dominant function is introverted intuition. My secondary function is extroverted feeling. My third function is introverted thinking, and my last function is extroverted sensing. I forgot to mention what introverted and extroverted means. The gist of it is functions, intuition, sensing, thinking, feeling, they can exist in one of two ways, either introverted or extroverted. The difference is introverted means within yourself, so it's going to be very internal. People are not going to be able to see it. And then extroverted means outside of yourself, external. People may or may not see it. So that is that. But what the hell is the INFJ cognitive stack, and what does it mean? I cannot even begin to try to explain what introverted intuition is, because it's a very complex and complicated and very heavily nuanced function, right? The best way that I can explain it is an internal imagination. I mean, so is extroverted intuition. It's also an internal imagination. But the difference between introverted and extroverted intuition is that, or like one of the main differences, is that where extroverted intuition is going to branch out with ideas, so it's just going to keep going outward, and it's not like you have like the main idea that you had, and extroverted intuition is just going to keep going outward, and it's never going to connect back to that main point. It'll just keep going. So it'll be like, think like ADHD, right? The stereotypical ADHD. So it'll be like, well, we started talking about shoes, and then shoes connected to dogs, and then dogs connected to ice cream, and then ice cream connected to fucking cereal, and cereal connected to morning, and morning connected to Mondays. At that point, you've already lost the original topic of, what was it? Shoes, I think. You've lost the shoes. You've gotten to Monday and you lost shoes, right? That's extroverted intuition. Introverted intuition is similar but very different in the sense that it will also branch out, but things will always circle back to the main topic. So it'll be like, we're talking about shoes, and then shoes connect to dogs, and then dogs connect to dog shit, and dog shit connects to, oh shit, I stepped in dog shit, and stepping in dog shit connects back to shoes. So it'll work in that kind of capacity. That's the best way that I can explain introverted intuition and extroverted intuition. Next, you have, in my case, extroverted feeling, which is basically the quickest way that I can explain it is, I don't really give a shit about my own feelings as much as I give a shit about other people's feelings. So it's gonna look very like, let's say I'm trying to order food. This is the same example that I gave in the original video. Let's say I want to order food. If I'm ordering for myself and I'm trying to decide for myself like what I want to eat, I'm going to have a very hard time doing that because everything sounds good. Do I want hamburgers? Do I want pizza? Do I want chicken tenders? Palate of a 4-year-old, autistic, right here. Also sensory issues. Anyway, I'm going to have a very hard time deciding what I want. But then if I talk to a friend that I really trust a lot in, and that friend tells me, you know what? Pizza sounds really good. My mind immediately is going to go, okay, that's all I needed to hear. Pizza. Let's go with pizza, right? This, of course, is coming from a very unhealthy perspective. Obviously, you know, a healthier INFJ is going to trust themselves a little bit more than that. But an unhealthy INFJ is going to not trust themselves too much with things and is going to rely very heavily on other people, especially the people that they trust for decision making. Because remember, feeling is a decision making function. It's a judging function. So the next function in the stack of INFJs is introverted thinking, which the best way that I can put that one is it's the same concept with the extroverted feeling, but with logic and ideas and analysis and all that kind of stuff. So it's like where extroverted feeling is like, I don't really give a shit about myself and my feelings. I care more about other people's feelings and their opinions. Introverted thinking is the opposite, but with ideas. So it's like, I have my ideas, I have my analysis, my thinking pattern. I don't really give a shit about other people's ideas and stuff. And this, of course, is very unhealthy, generalized ways of putting this, but it's to drive the point home. So that's introverted thinking. And then the last on the stack is extroverted sensing. Extroverted sensing is basically experiencing the world around you, the things you can see, hear, taste, touch, all those things. And taking that information in. Extroverted sensing being in the, depending on where the cognitive function sits in your stack, whether it's first, second, third, or fourth, determines on how much it's utilized. So introverted intuition being in my first slot, it means it is my dominant function. So it means that it's always happening. It's constantly running. It never is not operational. And this can look very like, sometimes I will space out and get lost in my thoughts, or, you know, I have a very observational approach to social situations where more often than not, I'm observing first before I really interact with the group. That is intuition in a general sense, but introverted intuition and extroverted intuition, like I said, work very differently. And they work very differently in a lot of aspects. I don't want to get into that in this video because that's a whole lot to get into, but you know the gist of it. Extroverted feeling sitting in the second slot is basically means that I utilize it very often, but it's not always running like introverted intuition. So it's something that I can like, it's a tool for me. It's like I can use it when I want to. Introverted thinking is in the same capacity as extroverted feeling. It's a tool that I can utilize, but it's a lot less like defined, I guess. This is very general, by the way. Like an INFJ can have a very defined introverted thinking. It can even be more defined than their extroverted feeling, right? The two middle functions kind of function that way. They kind of, no pun intended, they kind of work that way, where you can utilize one more than the other. And then the last function is extroverted sensing. And it being in the last slot means that for INFJs, there's a very big struggle with getting things out in the real world. And, you know, like intuition is an idea generator. So an INFJ will be able to come up with all these ideas and be able to like really hone in on a certain idea. But then to get that INFJ to like apply that idea into the real world is very difficult for them. That's not to say that an INFJ can't have that more defined. They absolutely can. But more often than not, it's very difficult for INFJs and INTJs, who also share the same dominant and fourth slot with INFJs. Introverted intuition being the dominant, extroverted sensing being the last. We share that in common. But it's difficult to like get things out in the world and like do things and take action. That's what extroverted sensing in the last slot looks like. But yeah, so that's basically all the functions. This was the function for INFJ, not for any other or not for any other personality type, because I'm INFJ. It's my experience in life, so it's a lot easier for me to like quickly gist of it explain what INFJ is. But yeah, that is this video. My ear really itched for some reason. That is this video. This is definitely on the shorter end of things, but that's because the original video already existed, and this video is just replacing that one. But anyway, I hope I did a relatively decent job at explaining things. I feel like there's more. My ear really fucking itches for some reason. I don't know what's happening. I hope I did a decent job here. This is very gist of things. Oh my God, help me. Pray for me and my ear. This is very gist of things here. And so, you know, it's not going to delve into anything very deeply. Anyway, whatever. I need to mimir. I'm very tired. And I need to clog out of life in general. I don't know why I went suicidal there. Anyway, never mind all that. As always, up, down, left, right, pink and blue, like my lights, bisexual lighting, Dance's Revolution, subscribe button, wherever it may be for you. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyway, please hit that subscribe button, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, whatever the fuck this was. And I will see you in the next video, and yeah, take care. Bye.